Americans of all colors.
You know, the government should be there to help those who can help themselves. There needs to be sort of a better programs in place to reward those that want to work, those that want to move forward, that want to take opportunities. You know, Cristobal,
and that's, by the way, lower taxes, Trish.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir on that one, buddy. Cristobal, let me go to you for a moment, because you are not a supporter of this president. You are on the left. You don't like what he's doing. But you also are the son of immigrants, much like Steve Cortes. So tell me your reaction here to what you heard.
Well, you'll be surprised to know that I thought the speech was a total disaster.
I'll be surprised to know, right?
It was long. He lost me at Sheriff Joe Arpaio. It's outrageous at a moment where just a week ago we had a national tragedy. Last night a major speech on Afghanistan and the war. And a moment tonight where he should have brought the country together and unified the country. Yeah. He wraps his arms around Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who's public.
Well, he didn't actually give him
okay, but forgive me, Cristobal. That was just one moment in a admittedly rambling long speech. I agree with you on that front.
Many notes on many of the moments.
But the overwhelming message that he kept saying is, again, we are one nation under God. When one American suffers, we all suffer. This was a speech about unity. How can you not agree with that?
Well, because I don't. He started off talking about unity. He started off trying to play the victim. Oh, look at me. I have a number of speeches that I'm going to bring out tonight and rehash and reread and talk about about the KKK.
It's a rally.
And the racists.
Those are his peeps, though. He's talking to them. They came there to see him.
I get
They came there to hear him.
It's a speech
and
to the base.
he needed to give his side of things.
I
mean, and he did it in his very approachable way. This is the candidate he was and the person they sent to the White House.
I don't disagree with you. I think this was a campaign speech to the base. It was not a presidential speech. It wasn't a speech that was designed to bring the country together. It was a speech that is the first speech for this presidential re-election.
Wait a second. Aren't Democrats actually secretly celebrating this because it helps them politically? They must be jumping for joy because they can then turn around and say, look, see, Trump's a racist. They've been going out, and we've gone on a very slippery slope because of what happened with last Tuesday with the Charlottesville press conference. But they've been going on the slippery slope saying every Republican is a racist. The former chairman of your party, Howard Dean, is saying if you vote for a Republican, you are a racist, and that Republicans are the party of racism. That is an absolute fallacy, and I'd love to see Democrats stand up and do that.
Can you do that? I mean, I'll challenge you now.
It's clear that all Republicans are not racist. That's obvious. But it's also clear that this is a president who started his campaign on the very first day by attacking Latinos, calling us rapists, calling us thieves. Of course, he went on to attack women and other communities of color and Muslims and people with disabilities. So he's not a uniter.
Wait a second, Cristobal. I remember that speech all so well. And he said, look, Mexico's not sending their best people. I mean, if you look at the statistics, and I was saying this earlier in the show, unfortunately, I mean, I was very sad to see them. I went through about 200 pages of an ICE report that was showing all the people that basically they had to let go of because of sanctuary cities, and it showed what their crime was, in many cases a very heinous crime, and it showed where they were from. And I deliberately went through and looked at each country because I don't want to think that we're seeing all these criminals come here and do bad things. But I thought to myself after seeing that report, gosh, I mean, the statistics, they're not on your side.
Well, let me just be very clear. Immigrants commit fewer crimes than native-born citizens. If you look at sanctuary cities, the most in-depth report on sanctuary cities shows that they're actually safer than non-sanctuary cities, and the economy is doing better.
This is what I keep going back to, and Steve, you should weigh in on this too, because I keep saying, well, we just open our borders and say, come on in, everybody, why not?
Not saying that.
Steve.
Right. No, listen, I think here's what's important. By the way, sanctuary cities.
Hang on, I got to jump in. Jeff Locke is in the middle of these protests. It looks like things are heating up. Jeff.